Hello? Hello, am I working? I hope I'm working. I should be. Okay, I am. I just wanted to double check, or triple check, I guess. Okay, here we are. Hi, everybody. Is this too loud? I don't know if this is too loud or not. Put that down. Thought we'd have some chill background music. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but hello, everybody. Hi. It is currently just an interesting time for me right now. A very, very interesting time is going on right now. Let me just get this going. Oops. Okay. There we go. That's lovely. Alright. There, now I'm in control of everything. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi. Hi. Welcome to the live stream. There was a few issues there. I think you saw me pop up at the beginning, but that's okay. Hello, today's been an interesting day. I just randomly decided to go live. Am I too, like, low? Is that better? I don't know. I literally just got out of the shower because I was, as some would describe, proper naff. I was quite grody. If anyone uses that term anymore, I don't know. Because I had a horrible sleep last night, and I, like, had so many thoughts and opinions. I was like, you know what? Let's go live and share it with everybody because, you know, that's the smart thing to do, right? So I, like, within an hour of me thinking of this, I had it all queued up and was like, okay, we'll just go live. So, you know, hi. Hi. This is amazing timing, at least right now. Things could change, but right now it's amazing timing because all morning, this morning, there's like a little green grass lawn area out front where I live. Like, there's a lawn area, and they've been mowing it for hours now because it's this huge grass spot, and I think they just stopped. I had kind of like tuned out the noise to where, like, I didn't even realize it was happening, until, like, finally it was like, oh, that's picking up on the microphone quite a lot. So, which, am I too quiet? Let me see. Let me just make sure I'm loud enough for everyone. So, hi to James Bennett, if you're still there. You were waiting in the queue before I went live. Yeah, I just thought it would be fun to chat about some television shows, do a little more casual discussion, kind of talk about what I'm doing. I thought this would be a fun little just chatting. For those who hadn't noticed, if anyone had noticed, I previously had a stream to play Papa's Freezeria queued up for Sunday. And that's probably still going to happen. I'm not going to 100% say, just because, you know, things can go off the rails, of course. But, yeah, it is queued up for that to happen eventually, where I play more Papa's Freezeria, because I was having so much fun in our first stream. But today I wanted to do a little bit more of a casual thing. I specifically wanted to talk about just TV shows in general. If anyone had any suggestions, if everyone... Oh, you know what? I didn't post about this. Let me do that. let me post about this, because... Just let people know that I'm live. I've been trying to do that more. Trying to, you know, kind of get into that whole realm of things better. I hope the stream is going fine. It looks like I'm doing okay, connection wise. Yeah, okay, I'm doing good there. Okay, awesome. Yeah, let me just give this a little posty post. Okay. Okay. How do I do this? How do I reshare this as a post? I forgot how to do that. I don't remember how to do that. Oh well. I'll just say, hey, live now. Hey, live now. Join if you're interested. Yeah, that'll work for me. Oh, I spelled interested wrong. There we go. There we go. That's good enough, I think. I think that's good enough for gravy. Let's see. So yes, welcome. Today, so specifically, if it wasn't already obvious, from the title of this stream, if anyone reads that, I finished watching literally just last night, which is why I had a terrible sleep, because I barely slept at all. I just got, no sleep essentially, because I finally finished The Summer I Turned Pretty. So famously, was it already a month ago? Oh my gosh, that's kind of embarrassing. Like a month ago, I guess, I had streamed Papa's Freezeria, and I specifically said like, someone asked me, have you seen The Summer I Turned Pretty? And I said no. I full on was like, no, I have not seen The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I was like, I don't really have time to watch real shows because I'm too busy watching Disney Channel shows. Now, Disney Channel shows are real shows. I review them as real shows, right? But I specifically was like really, I've really been like focusing so much, and then like with the DCOM series too, like I was watching so many movies, 120 movies. Again, have to preface, is a lot of movies to be watching and writing about and reviewing. It was basically like watching like an extremely long television show that is still going, and I'm just like barely keeping up with all of it, So, because of that, I was like, I don't have time to watch other stuff. It's like purely just like stuff for the channel, But I decided that like I should stop doing that. Now, especially that the official DCOM video's out. I don't know if you guys have saw the DCOM video's out. Yay. I'm so glad that it's finally out and people can enjoy it and watch it and stuff, because genuinely it has taken so much blood, sweat, and tears out of me and out of my life. It truly has been such an intense like situation, like truly. But it's finally done now, pretty much. I'm done talking about DCOMs for the time being, because when they make a new one, I think Descendants 5 is coming out sometime next year, I'll talk about it. It depends on if I want to make a whole video on it, but we'll see. Hi Ray, congratulations on the vid, you did it. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I thought we would do a just chatting, just chatting, because we'll probably play Freezeria maybe 2 days from now, or not. I don't know. I'll have to see how things go. But thank you so much. I thought this would be a fun little almost congratulatory stream about finally finishing the DCOM series. And we could talk about other stuff that isn't Disney Channel original movies. Or we could talk about Disney Channel original movies. That also is really cool with me. I really don't mind. I wanted this, just to be like a little chatting. I was describing how I had gone crazy a little bit. Just a little bit. And had just completely like avoided watching anything other than just Disney Channel stuff. And now I'm trying to get, ease my way into other stuff that isn't Disney Channel related, and that's been fun. Hi Topaz, welcome in. Ever watched Steven Universe? Love your vids. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry I'm looking a bit, as I said earlier, naff. I got out of the shower just a little bit ago. I have never seen Steven Universe. I'm actually very unversed, if that's the word, not well versed in Cartoon Network shows. I liked a lot of Adventure Time. I watched a lot of early Adventure Time, but like that's pretty much it. Like I don't really know anything about Cartoon Network, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of wild, honestly, except for like the really early stuff, I guess, like Powerpuff Girls, But no, I've never seen Steven Universe, although friends of the channel, my two podcast buddies, Sal and Shy, are pretty big Steven Universe fans. So, shout out to them. They kind of will randomly explore important information relating to them, relating to that show to me occasionally, but I've never seen it. the show I just finished last night, which is why I got like 0 sleep, and I'm just trying to absolutely chug my coffee. By the way, do you guys like my John Milton mug? Can you see that? Oh yeah, John Milton. I'm in a Milton class right now. We're reading Paradise Lost. It's one of those big, thick books on my new bookshelf. New bookshelf, yay! Remember how this place looked insane when I first streamed? That's rough. When I was streaming Freezeria for the first time, part 1 or day 1 or whatever. It was bad. It literally just had a pile of boxes and like a barely made bed. I mean, my bed is barely made now, but at least I have a fancy little crochet thing, right? But yeah, I have somewhat put stuff behind me. I'm somewhat finished moving in this many months in. So, can't wait for your Disney Channel shows breakdown if it comes. Love the mug. Thanks, Topaz. Yes, I have plenty more Disney Channel movie and TV show breakdowns coming in the future. That was something I really wanted to talk to you guys about, like shows that I've watched and I've started scripting and I'm working on. Because I'm so excited for them. And also I want proof out there that I've started working on these videos, because knowing how long it takes for me to make videos, somebody else is going to get it out before me, and they were going to have started working on it like after I've started work. I've been like 50% way through the video. Like they're going to start it and then get it out before I get it out, just because I'm a one-man operation here. So, specifically Good Luck Charlie. That's the big one I'm super excited about getting a video about out. But right now, since we're entering October, if you look back on the channel to last year, October, that could be a little hint. Just a wee little hint as to what was happening. I'm wondering. Let me get an OBS real quick. Not window capture. No. This. Yeah. Can I? No, I can't put that up there. Okay, I just wanted to see, because I'm like cropped here, and then I'm like, I have too much space up here, so I thought maybe I could put but no, that's not gonna work. Whatever, it's okay. I'm in frame. That's all that matters, right? But yeah, Good Luck Charlie is a big one that I'm excited to be working on right now. That I don't know when it's gonna come out, because in October we're gonna go on full My Babysitter's a Vampire lockdown. Like, it's going to be serious, okay? We're going to be doing a lot of stuff for October, which is what I'm very excited about. So I was trying to get off, like, all my one-off videos that, like, no one wants to watch from me, but I just really want to make. I'm, like, trying to get those out and then the final decom part out before getting into October. So I think we're finally at a good place in the channel to where we can talk about Mabab again, because I'll always have stuff to say about Mabab. In my previous video I made about the show, I was like, I think I'm done. I'm probably done saying things. Nope. I'm definitely not done. And I knew that deep down. But, that was a pretty decent conclusion video. I can't wait. I can't watch any content about Bab because I get so depressed thinking about the ending. I literally cry. I totally get that, Ray. I totally get that. To kind of get more in depth about what I'm planning on talking about the series, it's specifically the characters, their characteristics, so not really talking about the actual finale as much, but still, I totally get it, because, man, I think that the finale is 100% a huge part of why I am so obsessed with the show, Because, I mean, it would be less interesting if it had just a normal conclusion or whatever, right? So I think the inconclusive ending is definitely, like, a big part of why I find it so fascinating. But yeah, I'm ready to talk about the characters in specific. I don't know if I'll spoil any more or not, or if if they're planning on talking about the characters specifically. And then the podcast, the Vampy Wampy Campy podcast, is going to go back to talking about Mabab just for a little bit before we go back to talking about Gravity Falls again. It has its own channel, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Like, I've mentioned the podcast, and I said go check it out. But I haven't mentioned it has its own YouTube channel now. It used to be hosted on my channel, but we decided it would work really well with its own channel. So it's over there at Vampy Wampy Campy Podcast on YouTube. It's a great time over there. But anyways, I'm hoping after that, or before? I don't know if before, because October is already so soon, but a Good Luck Charlie video is happening. Good Luck Charlie video is definitely happening. And that one is going to be a deep dive video. It's going to be one of my deep dive videos. And so I'm really excited about that. But outside of the Disney Channel, like I said, like the title says, I ended up watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. I have to shout out, the reason why I was like, I want to go live and talk about the show, The Summer I Turned Pretty specifically, is because one of you guys in my live stream, like already a month ago or something, like multiple weeks ago when I was playing Freezeria, asked if I had watched the show The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I said no, I knew absolutely nothing about it. And that put the thought in my old noggin. So I just finished the season 3 finale last night. I absolutely breezed through that show fast. I breezed through it fast, okay? I really just like, you know? Because I got hooked. I'm not gonna lie, I got hooked. It was pretty good. So I kind of wanted to like chat about it a little bit. I don't know if I should do spoilers. I don't know if anyone here is watching the show or hasn't finished it or whatever. I'll say the live stream that I did where someone mentioned it, and then seeing like 10 million gifs about it on Tumblr, because that's my main social media, if that wasn't completely obvious about me already, are what really inspired me and influenced me to watch the show. So, yeah, I mean, crazy ending. I quite loved the finale. I'll just say, like, it literally made me, like, I was clapping and standing up and cheering in the air. That show definitely had me giggling and kicking my feet up and down, you know, real lame style. So, I might be having a problem. Let me see. Let me make sure I haven't gone offline. I think I've gone offline. Okay, I think we're back, y'all. Okay, we're back. Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to... Yeah, okay, we're back. Apologies. Sometimes my stuff just glitches out, but I'm back. I'm here. Yeah, I had no urge to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty when it first came out and when the second season came out, and even while this final season was airing, I was just like, whatever. And then... So I want to explain a really weird thing about me specifically, and that is that I love spoilers. I know that's really shocking to a lot of people. I'm famously one of those people where when I'm reading a book, I, like, after the first chapter or two, I have to flip to the back and, like, read the final pages just to know, because it's the only way for me to actually be invested into the series, is to know how the ending goes. And if the ending is something that I know is going to piss me off, then I don't want to invest my time into it. So I'm the same way about TV shows. I've watched most of Shameless. I know how it ends because it finally ended. I think it had 9 seasons or something like that, but I've seen like half of it. I think I've seen 5 seasons of Shameless, and I specifically only decided to start watching it when I saw like a specific plot line, like, spoiler, like, big deal spoiler, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, that ruins the show kind of spoiler. But I was like, no, that made me want to watch it. So the exact same thing happened with The Summer I Turned Pretty, is I saw the series finale, like, spoiler gifs just flooding my feed on Tumblr, and I was like, if any of you guys have seen the finale, it's very juicy. It's very, very juicy. So that intrigued me. Like knowing that that's how the show ends is what intrigued me, and then I quite liked it. So I would recommend the show if you have access to it. There are plenty of places where you can access it. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's a fun watch. If you like love triangles, it's like the love triangle show. And I would argue that's one of the things I don't like about it as much, which is funny because, like, that's the whole fucking point. Like, actually, I can read some of my initial thoughts I had watching, like, the first episode or two. I have them, like, jotted down. Because I was in a Discord server telling people, hey, I'm watching this show, because I know other people... Oh, sorry. I know other people had, that's my phone, because I just powered it on to look at these messages, and it just started beeping at me. Go away. Okay. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Watching The Summer I Turned Pretty for the first time in the beginning. Why do all the female friends have better chemistry with each other than the love interests? Like, seriously, the two main, like, female friendships throughout the series, like, they have the most chemistry with each other, which I think is kind of like a main theme of the show, is that like friendship is more important than romance. But like we're all here for the romance drama, you know? Yeah, I definitely found the messier the show was, the more I enjoyed it. I was like, as soon as these people are she's crisscrossing is when it got good. Is the show like Euphoria? No. Very different from Euphoria. I have a very complicated relationship with Euphoria, and it is very not like that. Well, first of all, it's 16 plus, so it's not like full rated R, like mature like Euphoria is. There is some sexual content, some swearing, some like drug use, but it all serves a purpose, first of all. And we're in Euphoria, like it does to a point, and then it gets gratuitous in my opinion. But there is no like official nudity. Although I think all the boys, the main boy love interest characters, had like in their contract that they had to be shirtless at least once per episode, because there's a bountiful amount of shirtless boys, which, you know, I don't really need in my life, but that's as close as you're gonna get to actual nudity, you know what I mean? So it's closer to your standard like coming of age teenage TV show, like I don't want to say like 90210 because it's not as schlocky, it's not as like cheesy as 90210. And also it's like it only really follows like 3 people, and there's other characters of course, but like you're supposed to care really about the main love triangle. Maybe Dawson's Creek is a good example. I would relate it to like something like Dawson's Creek, or what's the name of the show with Chad Michael Murray? What's that show? I forget. Is that even the person I'm thinking of? Yeah, Chad Michael Murray. One Tree Hill. It's similar to, in my opinion, to like shows like One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek, but it's much more, you know, it's very 2020s coded. Like you can't really make a drama romance show like that anymore with that amount of cheese. But, you know, I think it was a good investment of my time. Although I will say, season 2 specifically tested me. It definitely tested me. Okay, I see. I just didn't know I just finished Wednesday. Ooh, yes, Wednesday. I have not seen Wednesday, but I've been hearing people talking about it a lot. I don't have Netflix anymore because they took My Babysitter's a Vampire off, so I canceled my subscription. Like, genuinely, that's what happened. But I have the entire thing on DVD, so it's fine. Well, not season 2. I have season 2 downloaded in my archives, but I have season 1 and the movie on DVD. So I haven't seen Wednesday. I haven't invested the time into seeing Wednesday, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things. The Addams Family is just one of those like things that is just gonna get rebooted into infinity, you know? And I guess we're all just gonna have to be okay with that. Hi Grant, hello, welcome. I just thought I'd do a random chatty live stream today. Oh hey, I love your decom vid so much. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is a sort of celebratory, yay, I'm done with the decom video live stream where we talk about anything. I wanted to keep it TV show specific because that's kind of like my niche, I guess, or like TV in general. So like TV movies, or nowadays streaming, of course. Like I was just ranting about The Summer I Turned Pretty. We were talking about Wednesday, right? Yeah, but thanks for hopping in. I previously was talking about shows that I am going to be reviewing next on the channel. Specifically, Good Luck Charlie is a big one. I have many controversial opinions. I think controversial. I don't know. Maybe they're par for the course. But I have plenty of opinions about Good Luck Charlie that I'm very excited to share with people. And it has less to do with like the individual characters, because I guess this is one of my hot takes, is that like the individual characters are so archetypical, or just like so much like an archetype, that they're just kind of like, you know, the plot or like the character arcs aren't as intense. It's mainly like the themes that they're presenting with these archetypes, right? So that's one of my hot takes. Good job finishing it, thanks. So you've been working on it since 2021, so around the time Spin came out was when you planned it. Yes, I remember you were talking about doing the Good Luck Charlie in the video when you talked about the movie. Yes, exactly, because that was recorded right when I like was watching Good Luck Charlie. I was kind of watching Good Luck Charlie simultaneously as I was like in like the middle 70s and 80s range. I specifically say at the beginning of the video, movie 115 movies. So what was the... Let me check. Let me Google this real quick. What was the 115th decom? Because that was when I started. I didn't edit it out. I should have edited that to say 120, because it ended up 5 of them came out in the span of me making the video. So it might have been Spin. It's very possible it was Spin, but I have to check. I have to open up my files. Here we go. Because yeah, I was, you know, a lot of stuff was going on at the time. The one and only Phineas. Hi, hello, welcome. I remember y'all from the Papa's Freezeria live stream. How you doing? I'm doing great. A little sleep deprived because I just finished watching The Summer I Turned Pretty last night, and so I got like no sleep. Do you think having 2 decoms per year is better than having like 4 to 5 per year? Well, for 2025, you only have 1, right? Yeah, that's a great question. First, let me check what the 115th decom was. My stuff isn't loading. Probably because all of my internet, my computer juice is being used towards getting this damn live stream going. But yes, I would say anything that's not 12 is a big help for me. Because the year 2000 had 12 decoms, and that killed me. That was so difficult. Prom Pact, thank you, Grant. Yes, it's finally loading right as you tell me. Yes, the Prom Pact. I distinctly remember I was like I was deep in the Zoog era trenches when the Prom Pact came out, and I was like, I can't watch it. I can't keep up with the new ones because I have to like catch up. And man, it took me years. So I didn't watch the Prom Pact until way later. Way later. And then, of course, I did eventually catch up and then just started watching the new ones as they came out. I'm trying to remember... Was that 2023 then? That must have been when I recorded that. Because 2021... No, yeah, I remember. The Under Wraps remake had not come out yet when I started writing the script. But by the time I got around to actually recording the audio, it was 2023. That's so funny. That is so funny. So it was at 110 when I started writing the script, because this script is literally over. Let me see. I have it open now, so I can tell you how much. And this is only half of it. I have half the script open, and I can tell you guys how much, how big the word count was. 32,000 words for half. 32,000 words for half. So it took me a lot of writing, you know. So I would basically wrote the script for like 2 years, and we're watching movies for 2 years, and then finally actually started recording and editing, and that took me another 3 years to do. Because I'm very ill-equipped to be doing something like this. Okay, if I had the proper skills and, you know, wasn't a full-time college student, it would have gone a lot faster. I mean, look at what's his name, Big Joel. Took him 1 year to do it. Took me 4. So, there you go. I'm on break from a substitute teaching shift. When I go home, I'm recording a video about the breakup of Jeffrey Katzenberg and Michael Eisner. Ooh. That is a good topic. I kind of bring up the whole... Do I? In the decom video? I think I bring up someone from one of Disney's CEOs getting sued over Disney Plus drama and Disney Channel drama. So, yeah. There's so many Disney Plus originals I wish were official decoms, like Secret Society of Second-Born Royals, Phineas and Ferb, Candace Against the Universe, Godmothered, Sneakerella, and Stargirl. Very true. That was a huge gaping hole that I left in the decom video that I didn't realize until after I had already rendered it, so I just had to be like, oh well, I forgot to mention specifically Secret Society of Second-Born Royals and Candace Against the Universe, because they're not decoms. They weren't advertised as such. But in like other forms or in retrospect, they've aired on like Disney Channel and been, you know, so they've been assumed to be decoms. So I forgot a lot of the later ones because I forgot that people still watch Disney Channel and cable. So that was an oversight on my part. Funny thing is, before Sneakerella came out, a press release called it a Disney Channel original movie by mistake. Yep. Yeah, I did hear about that, but I just totally blanked on it. Yeah, Chang Can Dunk is another one. That was the example I brought up where I'm like, that's basically a decom. It's about basketball. That's already like the biggest criteria. Like most decoms are about basketball. Or maybe it just felt that way when I was stuck in the bounce era. But yeah, it's not a decom. So weird. Did you hear the news about Camp Rock 3? Yes, I did, Ray. I've been keeping up with the Camp Rock 3. Trust me, as the decom person, I've been keeping up with Camp Rock 3. Is it actually going to be considered a decom? I don't know. I'm assuming yes, because of the success of Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. I would say they are going to consider Camp Rock 3 an actual decom. They're going to air it on Disney Channel first, and then air it on Disney Plus later, because they're doing that now. Like with this refresh, with the Reflection era that started in February, they are like reviving, like revamping the Disney Channel in a sense, because it had kind of been left stagnant for a few years there. Are we here, y'all? Can y'all see me? I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. 1 minute, y'all. Are we back? Okay. I'm so sorry about that break. I'm so sorry, y'all. I was having issues. I was having very bad issues, but we're back. We're here, and we're hanging out. The computer's huffing and puffing. Apologies for the noises. I apologize for that break. Okay, you're back now. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So sorry about that. Listen, the Wi-Fi, it's gonna Wi-Fi, man. I don't have the best Wi-Fi connection, and I try my best for these streams. Anyways, back on track. So sorry. Let's see. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place is doing crossover episodes with the new Vampirina. Really? Oh, and then I heard... Oh, and then you wish Electric Bloom will be included. Okay. Hi. Sorry about that. I had a malfunction, but I'm back. I deeply apologize for that. I'm back. I had an issue, but hopefully I fixed it. I think it's fixed now. Anyways, Reflection era. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place kind of like revamped, pun intended, I guess, the channel. And now they're doing the Vampirina show and Electric Bloom. Yeah, I've been hearing all about it. Thought it was my Wi-Fi. Yeah. yeah. No, it was me. It was on my end. Sorry about that. I'm trying my best, y'all. But anyways, yeah, those are like the three big shows that are kind of happening right now. Season 2 of Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, Electric Bloom, and Vampirina. I was talking about Vampirina with on Mabav Blur, which is a horrible title for the Mabav Tumblr community, which, you know, is still kicking it. But we were talking about it together because it's like technically the second time Disney Channel is doing vampires. Like, they didn't create My Babysitter's Vampire in-house, but it was the first and last, until now, vampire show that aired on the network. And now they're creating, and I know it's a live-action remake of the like Disney Junior show, which I also just learned about once they announced the new show. Vampirina Teenage Vampire is cute. I never watched the OG cartoon in Disney Junior, but the theme song is cute. I do prefer Electric Bloom in terms of musical sitcom, though. Yeah, I haven't heard much about Electric Bloom. I've been kind of focusing on Vampirina just because seems more my speed, you know, it's a little bit more emo, I guess, or whatever. I have a feeling it's not going to be like that, though. It's going to be very sanitized, especially because it's literally based off of a Disney Junior show, right? Yeah, I've noticed that all of these projects have been musical projects. I wonder if they're trying to recreate, like, Descendants and Zombies, etc., you know, success by having music that could, you know, go viral or whatever, right? We clearly have seen that there is a Disney Channel fandom out there that is willing to watch and buy all the stuff. I mean, first of all, we're all here, right? But the Worlds Collide tour that's been going around, which, not gonna lie, seems pretty cool. Like, I was getting some FOMO looking at those performances, even though I really don't care about the new generation. I was like, damn, this looks like a good show. But maybe not as much because, you know, you'd be surrounded by a bunch of kids. But, you know, they had a good set list, I will say that. They picked some good songs from the Descendants movies and the Zombies movies. Electric Bloom just dropped on Disney Plus on Wednesday. Yeah, because it aired on cable first. It hasn't done well on cable. Yeah, that's the thing, Grant, is that nothing does well on cable anymore, because who has cable? Out of the collection of y'all who are watching, how many of y'all have cable, right? It's like probably zero. I would bet that it's zero. If you're watching a live stream on a Friday afternoon, you don't have cable. That's my thought process, at least. I literally have almost all of the Rise of Red dolls. Oh, okay, cool. Famously, if you got to that part in my video yet, it's very possible you haven't, because it's like at hour 7 or whatever. But I'm not the hugest fan of the Rise of Red, personally. But, like I said, I do like the new actors. I think they're great. I want them to be very successful and have, huge fan bases and do well with their solo projects and all of their endeavors. And the tour looks really cool. So, yeah. Wizards Beyond is good. I watched every episode of it, but I'm not sure if I watched it because I liked it or come back. Don't do this to me. Okay. I think we're coming back, y'all. We're coming back. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the buffering. I think we're back, though. Let me see. Okay, we're back. So sorry about that, y'all. Oh, man. Here's the problem with my Wi-Fi. I live in an ancient building. This building was built, like, 60 years ago. So the internet has a hard time with the plaster walls, and so it'll just cut out sometimes. So I very much apologize. I was hoping things were running smoothly before I started. It's probably because I'm, like, sucking up so much juice. I don't know. But anyways, we were talking about Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. Hi, we're back. Yay. We back. Okay. So we were talking about Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. So you had said, Grant, I don't have cable, Lamau, but I have to watch the new on streaming websites. Yeah, for sure. Like, that's why I'm, like, kind of confused about this Disney Channel rebrand with, with... Hi, Louisa. Hi, what's up? I remember you're always here for my live streams, and that's great. So it's nice seeing you again. We were talking about the Disney Channel rebrand with the Reflection era, and the how I find it kind of odd, specifically because, like, they're trying to rebrand, like, refresh the cable network when, as far as I'm aware, no signs have indicated that people are using cable anymore now. If anything, it's gone down, right? Like, I think it was 300,000 people like a year or two ago, and I think it's already down to like 100,000 people are watching these episodes live on TV. And that's bad if that's like the place where they're premiering, where you're showing the, executive producers and investors like how popular the show is for its intended audience, which is the Disney Channel cable network, and it's performing like dog shit. That's why I fully thought that, like, Disney Channel was just going to basically no longer exist and everything was going to be Disney Plus, because everyone's watching these on Disney Plus, right? Like, who's watching Wizards Beyond Waverly Place on TV? Like I said, like, maybe this many people versus, this many people talking about the show after watching it, right? They tried to refresh the live-action slate on Disney Channel, and Wizards Beyond was the start of this lineup. Yes, totally, 100%. They, like, really banked on the new Wizards, like, reboot, like, being, like, the big relaunch, because I think just a few months, or at least a year before the Wizards reboot was announced, they canceled all their shows, right? Like Raven's Home ended. A bunch of shows that only got like one season all ended. Even like the Zombies animated series, the Zombies Reanimated series, like that got canceled, when you think that would have at least continued, because that was pretty popular. That was a pretty big deal for them, right? But yeah, no, they booted it, which I think is a pretty big deal. Yeah, they canceled Bunked, Raven's Home, Secrets of Sulphur Springs, The Villains of Valley View, Saturdays, and Pretty Freaking Scary. Yes, exactly. All of those, like, started in 2023 and ended in 2024. Well, except for Raven's Home and Bunked, of course. Those had lasted a lot longer. Those had been around for like a decade. Yeah, Bunked finally ended, and some could even say Raven's Home finally ended, because both of those shows had lasted a goddamn long time. But they got proper finales, unlike shows like Pretty Freaking Scary, which just got booted, as far as I'm aware. I don't think they got a proper conclusion. That show I'm fascinated by. That's one I'm going to make a video on, is Pretty Freaking Scary, because it's like a weird adaptation of like a 2000s like Walmart Hot Topic knockoff merch line. And the show has nothing to do with that. It's just that's what it's a reboot of. and the actual plot is even more insane. So like I would love to make a video about that, but I'm just nervous that no one's gonna care about modern Disney Channel because not as many people like have an association with those shows because they don't have nostalgia for it. A lot of what I'm currently talking about, I'm kind of banking on the fact that like people are nostalgic about the piece of media, so that's why they're watching the video, you know, and then I'm secretly doing like real analysis instead of just remember thing, which is what most Disney Channel videos are about, and that kind of annoys me. So I try to add a little bit more substance to the discussion, but you know, only a little bit, of course, because I can only do so much. I'm just a young boy. Yeah, Villains and Pretty Freaking Scary ended on cliffhangers. Thank you. Yes. And they both got removed from Disney Plus. Yes, that's what pissed me off. I hadn't even started watching Pretty Freaking Scary. And then Saturdays I heard people loved. I heard people really liked Saturdays. So that's kind of annoying that they just got, like, I'm assuming it's just a full tax write-off. What other reason do they have to not be on Disney Plus and to get canceled after, like, one season? Or I'm pretty sure Saturdays was at least for a little bit longer. Like, my theory is just fully write it off as a tax write-off, and then they just get a couple million back. And, you know, Disney Channel has gotten in controversy in this in the past. They literally, I think, got sued by some people in California for not disclosing where their money was going. But, you know, I would watch a video about Pretty Freaking Scary if you did one. Thank you, Grant. I'm glad that you I'm glad that you would watch it at least. I know y'all in the know would watch it, but depends on if it's like viable for a topic. But I'll still do it anyways cuz I'm still really interested in it. Yeah, only reboots make it to Disney now. I know. Disney, the reboot, like, infinite sequels phase of the Disney Corporation has finally leached its way down to the Disney Channel. It started up here, and now, like, literally it's infected everything they make. Nice to see you too, Louisa. Yeah, thanks. And I agree, if they did not cancel shows every second, they could have more success. Yes, that's a big problem with modern television as a whole, I would say. Perfect discussion point to bring up for the live stream where we chat about TV shows. A big problem with modern day streaming is the fact, or like modern day streaming TV and like TV shows on cable even as well, is that they're not given enough time to thrive. Like some of our favorite TV shows like got barely any views for the first like 3 seasons and then thrived and became these big successes later on, like Seinfeld, Married with Children, right? And nowadays shows are not allowed to do that, you know? Hi Sammy, Electric Bloom is not a reboot. Yes, that's for sure. There's a few small examples of actual original shows existing right now, but I mean, Electric Bloom is like the only one, because you got Wizards, which is a reboot. You got Vampirina, which is like also a remake, or a live action remake, and then Electric Bloom's the only one. And one can even say it's very similar to Jonas, but I don't know. I haven't actually seen the show, so that's probably extremely out of pocket for me to say. So I'll rescind that. It's like trio band in high school is pretty much a standard thing. So you can say it's like any show where that's the case, right? But anyways, speaking of the Jonas Brothers, by the way, we were talking about Camp Rock 3 earlier. Very fascinated in how they're going to do it. The guy that's in everything now is in it. Like, what's his name? Malachi Barton? Yes, Malachi Barton. He's gonna be in it. And if it's considered a decom, that'll be what, his, like... He's in 3 decoms in total, because he was in Under Wraps 1 and 2, the reboot, because, you know, Under Wraps is a reboot of the first ever decom, Under Wraps 1 and 2, and then Zombies 4. So if Camp Rock 3 is classified as a decom, which I think it will be, then it will be his 4th decom, which means he's getting up there. He's getting up there in the ranks of he's not up there with Raven Simone yet. He's not there yet, but with what's his name? Jason Dolly. He's entering Jason Dolly territories of proliferation in the Disney Channel, specifically in the decoms. Saturdays was such a good show. I miss it. Yeah. See, that's what I've been hearing, is that it was like people really liked it, and it sucks that they just axed it for no reason. Again, I'm assuming it's because they were basically trying to kill the crops and salt the earth of like the previous flop Disney Channel, and hoping that they would like grow a new thing with, you know, carrying along the success of Descendants, Zombies, and then the Wizards reboot with like Selena Gomez, you know, being an executive producer and actually being in episodes, as well as David Henry, right? All of that, like, I think they were thinking was going to be a huge success, but outside of Wizards, because, you know, Selena Gomez is in actual episodes, outside of the Wizards reboot, like, how much noise are these shows making? I don't know. You guys can let me know, I guess. I cannot stand Malachi Barton. Did I say his name right? I think I said his name right, because it is Malachi. I might have said a different name. Sorry to him. Malachi is Disney Channel's golden boy now. Yep. I was thinking of him as like the 2020s Zac Efron in a sense. Or I guess he would be closer to Jason Dolly, because he's like in everything, you know? And he's been on the channel for like a long ass time. But I think the actual child Disney Channel fans love him. So I think that's why he's in everything, and then he's willing to do so. That was another thing I was thinking about when it came to these series. Is that, like, why are we getting a Zombies 4 and a Descendants 4 when, like, previously we could barely get one movie out of the biggest stars from that generation, right? Like, High School Musical got 3 movies, but that's it. You know, when they made the 4th one, technically, but it, you know, most of the cast was gutted. And so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, why are these series continuing for so long? Like, why is most of the cast coming back for Zombies 4? And it's because they're not getting as successful as the other stars were. Like, no offense to, or maybe full offense to what's his name, the guy who plays Zed. He's famous, but he's not like Zac Efron famous, you know? And he's supposed to be like 2020's Zac Efron. That's who I would say is 2020 Zac Efron, is that guy. At least that's what Disney Channel's trying to do, but he's not as popular as Zac Efron was. So, like, the Disney Channel isn't doing what they previously were doing, but I think we all knew that already. But I feel like it's important to mention still, you know. Electric Bloom is moderately successful. It's actually trending on Disney Plus right now. That's true, but so much of it makes me think, like, how much of this is algorithm, like, focused, you know? Because all these streaming services are like have algorithms, so it's like, well, I watch a lot of Disney Channel stuff, so of course, like, I'm getting pushed the new Disney Channel stuff on the front page a lot, right? Versus other people who just watch like Discovery or what's it called, National Geographic documentaries all day are probably not getting Electric Bloom plastered in front of their screen. But I'm glad it's doing well. Like, I want these shows to do well. I want these shows to create new stars. I want, you know, these people to get good careers and also be treated right at the same time. But apparently Disney doesn't know how to do both, at least right now, it seems like. Malachi is in the upcoming live action show called Coven Academy. It's going to be single camera without a laugh track, which I didn't think they were ever going to do again. That's a good point, Grant. Yeah, because a lot of their stuff recently has been multi-camera canned laughter. So that's cool. That kind of calls back to... It makes me think it's going to be a boy show. Is that weird for me to say? Because Disney Channel loves to gender their shows, which is so weird. But a lot of the boy shows have been like similar to like stuff like Malcolm in the Middle, you know, where it's like single camera, no laugh track, a lot of cutaway gags. I think of Phil of the Future, Even Stevens. That had a laugh track though. Zeke and Luther is the big one, of course. I gotta mention Zeke and Luther. Best show ever. Love that show. Love Zeke and Luther. I'll talk about it for hours. So, yeah. Lummi Pollock from Electric Bloom is going to be in Kept Wrong 3. Yeah, see, there's another example of, like, cross-promoting Disney Channel stars into their movies. I mean, they're running the same formula. They're doing the same playbook as they've always done. But again, is it working? Y'all can let me know. Yeah, you know, y'all can let me know. I remember they said Saturdays got canceled because they wanted to focus on multi-camera shows instead. Well, there you go. I think the main lead of Coven Academy is a girl. Okay, well then I rescind. Well, I mean, it could still be a... You know, they're probably not doing the whole gendered show thing anymore, which I say good riddance, you know. But a lot of this is reminding me of what I read in the book Disney High, which I'm going to go get because it's on that shelf. 1 minute. I'm wearing shorts, and I don't need y'all to see me wearing my shorts, okay? I'm going to get up and grab it. Okay, I got the book. Whoa. I got the book. I have nowhere to place it because I'm living in filth. No, I'm just very disorganized, that's all. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Let me show y'all the book. I don't have the sleeve. I don't have the sleeve on me, which like I bought. This was so expensive because this book was mainly in an ebook form, but they were selling an extremely expensive physical copy, so I bought it to be a physical prop for videos in the future, and I don't even have the fucking cover. So, wasting my goddamn money. It's around here somewhere. But anyways, Disney High. Yes, I've been reading it. I'm exactly at the halfway point. Look at that. I'm right there. That's more like 1/3. I'm at the 1/3 ways point. And boys, there are juicy details in here. I mean, let me be honest with y'all. Okay? We're going to be honest here, okay? What is the book about? Great question, Grant. I'll explain it now. So, Disney High is a book written by Ashley Spencer. And let me read, like, the subheader. It's in here. I just gotta flip to it. It is the untold story of the rise and fall of Disney Channel's tween empire. Now, that is a fascinating topic. It gives a little timeline. I think my camera's flipped, so you like won't be able to really appreciate it. But let me show y'all anyway. Where's the timeline? Give me the timeline. Okay, here we go. Look at that. So the timeline goes from the years 2000 to 2012. So that's the whole span of time that this book covers. More like to 2008 to like 2010 kind of is like where it ends. It doesn't really go fully into 2012. That's just when like certain shows they were talking about end. But yeah, it's a published book detailing like, you know, they interviewed a bunch of people who worked on Disney Channel, and each chapter is about like a different, you know, Disney Channel star. Let me get to the table of contents for y'all. This came out last year, I think. When did this come out? This is a very new book, I want to say. Yeah, when was the book published? Yeah, see, we're on the same wavelength. We're on the same wavelength, Grant. God. I also hate hardcovers. Can I say I'm a big paperback person, but they were only selling the hardcover. So, this just makes my life like 10 times harder. Now I understand why people lick their finger to separate pages, because this shit... Okay, here we go. 2024. So it was literally published a year ago. Ashley Spencer is, I think, a journalist? I don't know. Go check it out. It's online. You can find it. I think BuzzFeed wrote an article about it or something. She's in here. Her little... Ashley Spencer is a cultural writer and a reporter who has appeared in the New York Times, Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, Vanity Fair, The Guardian, Hollywood Reporter, Vice, Vulture, and elsewhere. Disney High is her first book. So there you go. She's a culture writer and reporter. But yeah, she interviewed a bunch of people who worked behind the scenes on the Disney Channel, and she interviewed a bunch of actors and stuff, and kind of just gives a little detailed history of each, you know. So, like, this was a huge help, with some stuff that, like, is a little bit more secret, but a lot of the early stuff I was like, yeah, we've been known, but I guess people who aren't in the Disney Channel fandom aren't aware. I already this book. Okay, cool. I'm glad, Sammy. Yeah, like this is people have known about this book. It's already been out for a while. I think Kean Carlisle was talking about it specifically in his Corey in the House review. So, you know, it's out there. It is. But yeah, like the prologue, changing the guard, like the first 2 chapters are like, girl, I already knew all this shit. But it's nice to at least get like confirmation from like actual quotes from people who actually were there and worked on Disney Channel at the time, like proving this stuff, you know? So that's cool. But anyways, the reason why I brought this up is because they have a whole chapter or a whole chunk of a whole like few paragraphs on the decom. And that was what was fascinating to me because I was, you know, working on the decom video. I have like some tabs here, but they're becoming less and less useful as I go on. Here it is. No. See, I'm genius. My tabbing system. I was just about to say my tabbing system is bunk. It's not bunk. I immediately found the page. Yeah. The Disney Channel original movie. They specifically describe an anecdote where Michael Eisner, we were talking about him earlier, Mr. Eisner, he was trying to host a dinner for a bunch of people, and they were like, don't you know you have a, and everyone was saying no, and he was like, what the fuck, why is everyone saying no to my fancy dinner for this weekend? And they were like, don't you know, let me get the actual quote. Michael, I don't even understand why you're asking us to dinner. You have a movie coming out this weekend that we want to watch with the kids. And he says, what? No, I don't. And they say, yes, you do. Johnny Tsunami on the Disney Channel. So it's like, he didn't even know what was going on with the Disney Channel. And then he realized that, like, people were, like, canceling their plans to watch the Disney Channel, to watch new DComs. And it's like, is Zombies 4 doing that? Anyways. How do you plan to do the pretty freaking scary video despite the Disney Plus removal? I'll find sources. Somehow. Hopefully it's on the internet somewhere. Although, considering it wasn't that popular of a show, it's very possible that, like, it isn't. I know there's quite a lot of YouTube uploads of behind-the-scenes information. I've been trying to collect links for that. That's one nice thing about modern internet, is that, like, a lot of the stuff is uploaded by Disney Channel instead of, like, being, like, well, they probably aired them as ad bumpers on the network, but, like, they've also uploaded them to their official channel. So, like, you have an official YouTube upload in, like, 1080p of, like, certain clips and behind the scenes information and stuff. So at least I have that. But I'm gonna try and find the show somewhere. I hope it's available somewhere. It's available for digital purchase. Okay, that's a good, like, last-ditch effort if I really can't find it anywhere. Although, you'd be surprised at what people do archive. A lot of people do archive stuff pretty well. But, anyways. Yeah, I one thing I wanted to mention, since we're talking about Disney Channel shows, I famously have had a deep obsession with The Sweet Life on Deck. So much so that my 2-hour deep dive video wasn't enough. So now I'm talking about it on my side channel. I have a side channel, if people didn't know, by the way. It's been a lot. And so I specifically haven't read, there's a whole chapter on the Sprouse twins in Disney High that I haven't read yet, because I want to read it and then analyze it on my new little on deck series that I'm doing. Because there's probably a lot in that chapter that would, like, pertain to the Sweet Life on Deck. But yeah, the Sweet Life on Deck is another show I'm, like, really talking about a lot in this modern day. So that's a lot of fun. That's been a lot of fun. Part of me is thinking maybe, like, because I'm talking about the Cody and Bailey ship. Part of me is like, wonder if I, like, edit down these because they're it's a podcast. I've started a second podcast where I talk about On Deck. I'm like, what if I edit down these podcast episodes into, like, a cohesive video and then, like, upload that? I don't know. We'll see. I have to do that soon because I'm surprised they didn't private Pretty Freaking Scary videos when they removed it off Disney Plus. Because I remember a few days ago, before Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion got removed from Disney Plus, they privated all the videos. Okay, so maybe I'll get moving on it. Maybe. Or if I end up getting delayed because all of October is going to be dedicated to me talking about My Babysitter's a Vampire, then that'll be part of the mystery of the video, and it'll be more engaging and more people will click on it. I don't know. Like, this forgotten Disney Channel show is only 2 years old or whatever, you know. Anyways, I literally just binged, like, 6 episodes last night of I Love On Deck. Right, Ray? Sweet Life on Deck is so good. All of my Sweet Life on Deck lovers, you know, send hypes in the chat, or I don't know what that means. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I love Sweet Life on Deck, famously. Famously, I'm a huge enjoyer of it. My video actually became really popular after Kian Carlisle uploaded his video where he said he didn't like the show, which is a completely valid and fine opinion, and I do not judge anyone who doesn't like the show. But, I love it so much. But how weird is the spaceship episode, though? The Star Trek parody? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So here's the thing about the Sweet Life on Deck. I'm planning on making a whole podcast episode about this, okay? The thing about the Sweet Life on Deck is that they do a lot of bottle episodes, which, like, the best way I can describe a bottle episode is where, like, you put it's like putting all the characters in a bottle, and they're, like, stuck there, and they have to, like, you know, either find a way out of the bottle or just like do stuff in the bottle, right? So it's like, what if the cast of On Deck were in Star Trek, right? That's like, and they were doing a lot of, they had like a whole block of just like bottle episodes in season 2, because that was like the news anchor show, which is one of the best show episodes of the whole show, of like the entire 6 seasons of Sprouse Twins TV shows. It was like one of the best. And then you have like, was it the Inventions episode or the Fairy Tales episode? Like those 3 are like all squished together, and it's very interesting. Oh yeah, Pretty Freaking Scary should have premiered in October instead of June of 2023. Didn't even have a Halloween episode. Yeah, I know. Disney Channel famously fumbles the bag when it comes to Monstober so many times. My theory is that they wanted it to be a big show, so that's why they aired it in June, because that's Disney Channel Summer, which I'm assuming is the highest ratings because it's a kids network and kids are more likely to watch more TV in June than they are in October during school time. I don't know. They famously did this with My Babysitter's a Vampire. They aired it in like July, which makes no sense. And then when they would do reruns of it in Monstober time and then on Disney XD, it like did huge. It was hugely popular. So I don't know. I understand what they're thinking, but it doesn't work. The branding gets off, and then it doesn't stick in people's head. Did you ever see the Sweet Life on Deck crossover with I'm in the Band? Originally, no. I never had even like heard of it, because the show I'm with the Band like just fully went past my radar as a kid. But I have seen it now. And I do know about it now. It's okay. It doesn't need to exist. The show I'm in the Band is like such a weird anomaly to me. Every Disney XD show besides like Aaron Stone, like the first 2, Aaron Stone and Zeke and Luther, like are complete enigmas to me. Yeah, the Fairy Tale episode was wild. Yeah, I talked about it because it's like such a weird bottle episode that like they could have explained away much easier, because it looks so bad and so cheap and like doesn't have a reason to exist, yet I think it's funny. But yeah, it's a whole thing, honestly. I famously have always thought that like what they should have done, instead of making it like we're hopping into their dreams about fairy tales because they're in Germany, what they should have done was like had it been like a meta like shitty play that they're putting on, where like they're putting on a play, and so that's why they're all in really bad Halloween costumes. But one can dream. The show is like 15 years old, so oh well. Speaking of, the Christmas episodes of Wizards, Vampirina, and Electric Bloom are airing in October. Oh, is that because... I understand. Is that because they're, like, dropping the entire season all at once? They're not, like, airing it out, like, in the same way that they would do on cable? So, like, Vampirina started airing, like, last week, or just a few days ago, and it'll finish in the Christmas episode will, like, air in nearer to Christmas time. But since the whole season is dropping on Disney Plus like in October, the Christmas episode is in October. Yeah, that is very weird. Unless it isn't, unless they're like, but yeah. It's quite insane, honestly. I don't know why Disney Plus isn't doing like the HBO method, where like their show is airing on cable television, so just drop the episode on streaming the same day, the same time and day that it airs on cable. Like Electric Bloom is on Thursdays, 8/7 Central. Drop it on Disney Plus, the new episode on Thursday at 8/7 Central. Like that's what makes the most sense to me. Like people were so hyped about Euphoria Sundays, and how many people, we were talking about Euphoria earlier, so that's why I brought it up. How many people had HBO? How many of the millions of people who are watching Euphoria had actual HBO on the cable network? Again, probably like 100,000 of them out of like the 10 million people watching the episodes, right? It was all everyone watching it on HBO Max, but they got hype about watching it on Sunday at 8 p.m. when it came out, right? So I don't know why Disney isn't doing this. They tried doing this with WandaVision, and I think they've done like half season like drops from now on, but I'm like, maybe it's too expensive for them to do, and they don't think enough people are gonna care. That's my only theory right now, at least. Yeah, I think streaming has a lot to do with why they're airing the Christmas episodes in October. Yeah, because they're just dumping the whole season out, like how streaming has always been. And I would argue that that has killed the special episode, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like Stranger Things, well, you know, obviously Stranger Things, like season 3 or something, was all like summer 4th of July themed, right? So you can say that, like, you know, that was like a themed season. But like you don't get Halloween episodes or Christmas episodes anymore with these new streaming shows, because it's like the episodes aren't airing at that time. I mean, we were talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty. They do have a 4th of July episode in the first season, but I think the show at least aired around the same time, so that made more sense, right? Wizards Beyond Season 1 premiered on Disney Channel Tuesday, October 29th, but dropped on Disney Plus the next day, Wednesday, October 30th. Yeah, they're doing that because they're trying to make sure this rebrand is Disney Channel forward. I've noticed, because again, for those 2 years there where the DCOM no longer existed and it was Disney Original Movie, they cut out the word channel, right? Because again, it's not a channel anymore; it's a streaming service, right? And they were airing them barely like a day or two before, or even simultaneously. Which is why I called it the Disney Plus age in my video, because I was like, these aren't airing on, most of these are being made for Disney Plus, and we're just pretending they're DCOMs, right? But anyways, that's its own can of worms, obviously, which is the DCOM. Can of worms. Unintentional pun. But anyways, yeah, I think that they should focus on, if they're going to try and make the Disney Channel rebrand Disney Channel forward, then they should make sure the majority of people who are going to be watching these shows are experiencing it in the same way that they would experience it by watching it on Disney Channel, by airing the episodes at the same time. Who would have thought? But again, I don't know if there's like a budget restraint, like they just don't want to there's like money that they don't want to put resources into doing that. I don't think that would cost a lot, but whatever. Don't get me started on the Disney original movies. I hated that rebrand with a passion. Disney Channel in 2023 is the Dark Ages. No, it seriously is. Like those last 2 to 3 years of the item age, I literally thought we were just going to stay in the item age forever while I was making the video, which is why I delineated a new era, because I didn't think we were ever going to get a new era. I thought the Disney Channel was just going to die. Because, I mean, it technically did internationally. Like, y'all know in 2021, again, right when I was writing the script, which is why I mentioned it like in the very beginning of the video, that like all of the international channels went dark. So Disney Channel as a channel network on cable television literally only exists in the United States right now. So why are they putting all this money and effort into all these shows that you can only watch in one country? Like, I get it's a pretty big country, but still, it's it is a doozy to think about, you know? Well, I think we've had a great Disney Channel discussion. I'm glad we did. I've been loving talking about shows. I always do. I found that whenever we're trying to do other things during our live streams, we always just get derailed and want to just talk about random stuff. So I was like, well, how about we just talk about random stuff in this one, right? The writers and actors strike definitely killed all the live action shows towards the end of 2023. Yes, that. I think like the Wizards reboot was a symptom of the writer's strike happening, 100%. Like they were like, we have to put the show on pause and wait till the writer's strike is over, and then that is what's going to get the reboot and the refresh to start, right? Yeah, Disney Channel should be off at this point. Disney Plus is the channel. Exactly. No one's watching it on cable television. And I find the state of cable television so fascinating because at this point it's inevitable that it's going to shut down one day. Like DirecTV and Dish or whatever these cable networks are called, they're all going to have to shut down one day, I think, because enough people are going to cancel their subscriptions to where that's going to have to be the case. Because the problem with cable television is that, like, I think the majority of people who still have it and use it are 60 plus. Like, all of the current people who have cable subscriptions are on Social Security. Like, seriously. So it's like that generation's going to start dying out, and as all of these people start dying out, the cable subscriptions are going to get canceled. Like purely if people stop, cutting the cord, breaking the dish or whatever, they're going to start dying. And then it's like, what happens to all of cable networks from then? Because they're just like barely limping along right now. Like literally like limping along with like minimal views. They're probably losing money every single day. Or just filling more ads to try and stay afloat. And it's like, because no one's watching it. No one is watching cable television anymore. So when is it going to die is my question. Like, when is it actually going to go away one day? I'm not sure. I remember David Henry teased Wizards Beyond in late November 2023. See, exactly. I remember. See, that's why I mentioned this. When he posted a subscriber-only story with him at the Disney Channel building in January 2024. Yes. So it was during the writer's strike. And so they were like... the writer's strike has basically killed all of the shows that were going on, and they wrapped up the ones they cared about, like Raven's Home and Bunked, which is... Bunked, at least to me, is like, wow. But, I get it. And then we're like, okay, like I said, burn all the crops, salt the earth, restart fresh with a brand new plot of land, and we'll see. Like I said, there does seem to be a decent Disney Channel fandom of not just grown-ups, but also like kids, just by the pure fact that the Worlds Collide tour isn't like flopping. Like, they are getting sold out shows, like people are going to that thing, they're loving it. I'm getting FOMO looking at it on my, here at home, like, damn, I should have gone to that. Well, they weren't coming anywhere near me, the Worlds Collide tour, so, But yeah, like, I'm hoping that these shows succeed. We'll have to see. I'm interested in Vampirina. Once it gets added to Disney Plus, I'm gonna check it out. I already know it's not gonna be interesting enough to make a video about it though, unless it is. There's always a but or an if, when I say that. However, watching the trailer, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll mention it in like a bad video one day or something that I watched it. But yeah, I remember the kid who played Roman first auditioned for Wizards in June 2023. Yes, exactly. Yeah. They were working on the show right before the writer's strike, and also like during it. It was like when they were like brainstorming it, which is why it took them like a whole extra year, probably later than they were originally going to. Actually, my country still has Disney Channel on cable television. Okay, so I think it might just be North America then, or it might have been select countries. Like, I know, like, the UK, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, like, the UK lost it. I think Canada lost it. I'd have to check again, because there's archives of it on the internet. So I'd have to go and see exactly what countries lost access to Disney XD and Disney Channel and all of that. But yeah, for sure, like, it's struggling. Cable networks are struggling right now, is the thesis, I guess. All episodes of Vampire will be on October 15th. Yes, I have the date booked. Don't worry, Grant. I got it. I got it booked, okay? Where I get most of my Disney Channel news is, I'm going to shout them out because they're one of my favorite Tumblr blogs, is the Tumblr blog East High. They have a very, very great Tumblr blog, and they're keeping me up to date on all of this stuff. I think Tumblr user Dewey Duck runs it. I think there's also other mods, but it's like that's the main person who runs it. And yeah, they're just keeping me up to date with all the new shows and all the stuff, and they make some really cool polls as well. Like, one of my favorite polls was, what is your favorite 2020s DCOM? Actually, you know what? Should I pull up that poll? Because that was a really good poll. Oh, it's going to take me way too long to pull up, but yeah, it was a really good one. DCOM poll. I want to see what won. Come on. Come on. Come on, sweet internet. You can do it. I only want to watch Wizards Beyond and that's it. That makes sense, Ray. Maybe I'll finish it one day. I definitely want to make more videos on the original Wizards of Waverly Place show. Strictly because I set out to make a deep dive into Wizards of Waverly Place back in 2023 and ended up talking about Max Russo for 50 minutes. So I have so much more script and thoughts on the original show that have just been shelved. Like, I have a whole thing where I'm like, let's try and cobble together a magic system and like a lore timeline for the Wizards universe, because it famously makes no sense and is convoluted for a reason, so you just don't bother trying to decipher it because it makes no sense. Like, they didn't have like a lore Bible or anything, you know, they didn't have a magic system set out when they made the show. So I thought it'd be very funny to have a bit where like we build one from scratch and I just use my own personal opinions and headcanons to do so. But I don't know how interesting of a, I don't know if that would be an interesting video or not, you know, but I think it'd be interesting. But, you know, since when is my opinion about Disney Channel mattered? Let's see, is it here? Not the specific one that I want is not coming up when I just like did a blind search. Maybe do latest. Maybe it'll show up in latest. Come on. Come on, pewter. Come on. Here we go. Which 2020's DCOM is your favorite so far? The one that won was Zombies 2, which, interesting. Famously, again, in my ranking, I think Zombies 2 is the worst Zombies movie. That's just me. Hope no one's offended by that. I think Zombies... I voted for... Did I vote for Zombies 3? Let me check. What did I vote for? Because I voted on this poll. I voted for Spin. I think that's a good choice. That, like, at the end of the day, Spin is the best one. Out of all of these. Out of all of the 2020s ones. But I was really close to voting for Zombies 3, because I quite liked Zombies 3. I will not lie. I don't think Disney Channel is only in the US, because I still have it in cable television. You know what? It might just be like Disney XD and like Disney Junior and stuff shut down. It might have just been those networks, like the extra networks, but Disney Channel is still up. Could be misremembering, but still, bad sign in general. Max Russo Hive, stand up. Yes, us Max Russo lovers. Gotta stand up. He's still my favorite character. After all these years. He has the most interesting, like premise. Like, if he was the main character, the show would be so much more different and sad, like, genuinely. But, I talked about it for 50 minutes, so you already know. Check out the video. It's one of my lesser viewed videos in, like, the, DCOM, like, or Disney Channel playlist in general, so it's so good. Spin was a beautiful movie. I'm so sad finding out it flopped. It was the first DCOM to score under 1 million views. I'm surprised Upside Down Magic even scored. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. If you're wondering why I'm picking. Okay. I'm surprised Upside Down Magic even scored 1.3 million views in July 2020. Yes. I also, when I did some very, very light research into Spin. And it was apparently supposed to originally be a Disney Plus movie. And then last minute, they just like reallocated it to be a DCOM. And like shifted the budget to be a Disney Channel movie. Again, Disney got in trouble for that. They really did. Disney got in some big trouble for doing that. I think they got sued for like certain TV shows. For two TV shows specifically, like the Doogie Howser remake was one of them they mentioned, was that it's a Disney Plus show. But after they made it, they tried to move it over and say, actually, it's a Disney Plus show. So, or a Disney Channel show. So the show was a flop. It didn't succeed. They canceled it pretty quickly because it was just not a huge success, which is sad because I think it was a good idea. I don't like to see these shows get flopped because, you know, unless they're bad. But they were like, let's pretend it's a Disney Channel show, because if a Disney Channel show loses money because it flops and we have to cancel it early, it's no big deal because the Disney Channel's a dying network. But if it reflects worse on Disney Plus, because this was specifically during the era where Disney Plus was bleeding subscribers and they were trying to validate its existence to investors. So yeah, I don't know where that lawsuit went anywhere, if it just got settled outside of court and that's why we haven't heard anything about it, but they've been getting in trouble for stuff like that. I don't really like the Zombies franchise. Me either. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, not a big fan of the Zombies franchise, but I can get into that later. I don't think Doogie Tamalahoa would aired on Disney Channel. It didn't. That's the problem. That was the exact problem, was that it was a Disney Plus show, and internally, the lawsuit supposes, it doesn't say it as a fact, it just implies, they're putting out forward that Disney Channel, that the Disney Corporation pretended it was actually a Disney Channel show all along, when it was actually not at all. And that's illegal. That's like a form of, moving money around. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know anything. This is all alleged. This was all alleged, okay? But yeah, Disney Plus got in some big trouble for that, and the CEO of Disney got sued. I think it was Michael Chapek who got sued, because he was CEO at the time when Eisner took over, is when the lawsuit went through, but they were specifically suing Michael Chapek because he was CEO during the time the thing happened, right? Walt Disney got in trouble for moving Spin to Disney Channel from Disney. I don't know if specifically Spin was an example of this, but I think that at the same time, the Disney Channel shows were brought up, or the Disney Plus shows were brought up in this lawsuit. But like, I very obviously noticed that like while this issue was happening of like Disney Plus shows all of a sudden becoming Disney Channel shows, that also happened for Spin. Spin was supposed to be a Disney Plus show, and it automatically became a Disney Channel movie. I meant movie, yeah. It's supposed to be a Disney Plus movie, and then it just like secretly one day just got moved to the Disney Channel section, right? Very fascinating. You can notice when Disney Plus becomes a bigger factor, and I think I say this in my video, because like streaming service movies have a different kind of sheen and gloss to them that like made for TV movies don't have, and you can see like specifically with Zombies. Is it Zombies 3? Zombies 3 is when you're like, oh, okay. Welcome to Disney Plus. Like the sheen is just so much more obvious to me. Or it might have been Zombies 2 that you really see that sheen. But yeah, anyways. What do you think about Steve from What's His Waverly Place as a character and in general? You mean like Stevie? Talking about Stevie specifically? Famously I said in my Max Russo video, again at hour 50, so I don't know if anyone actually saw that, but I wanted to make a whole video about Stevie and the revolution, how like the revolution was right or whatever, because I think that's so fascinating. But it's gonna take me so long. I have to finish. I have so many other things that are above it that I don't know if it'll ever happen. Maybe one day. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we've been going for 90 minutes, which is pretty good. I think I'm gonna pinch it off there, but I wanted to talk about, since I put in the title and I never changed the title, I put in me ranting about The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I actually only ranted about that show for about 5 minutes. I thought I would sprinkle in some final opinions, try to keep it spoiler free, because I bet a lot of y'all haven't seen the show. Although famously, part of my rant was that the show getting spoiled for me is what made me interested in it and make me want to watch it. So, final hot take. For those who have seen The Summer I Turned Pretty, I just finished it last night. I binged it last night, which is why I've had like no sleep, and I'm like been deranged this whole live stream. Famously, sorry for my squeaky chair, by the way. There's the two main like love triangle ships. Is the main character of Belly with Conrad and Jeremiah, and the two guys are brothers, right? I'm a huge Conrad Belly fan. We call it Belrad or something, the ship name. That's been my favorite. That's all I'm gonna say. And listen, Conrad is probably my favorite character. I love Belly. I think she's like one of the best. She's a great main character. I love her struggle, and she's very relatable, but like, I think I've been caught with white boy-itis. I've been caught with white boy-itis when it comes to this show. I'm like, give me an emo white boy, and I am hooked. Like, I don't care if he gets with anybody. I just want to make sure his, like, story arc is concluded. And I think they did a great job with his character. But yes, I quite liked The Summer I Turned Pretty. Thank you to whoever suggested that I watch it, like, a month ago already, which was the last time I did a live stream. Shout out to you, the person who said, have you seen The Summer I Turned Pretty? And I put the thought in my head, and then I got spoiled for it on Tumblr, and then I went and then binged the entire show extremely fast, and barely slept at all yesterday or last night because I had to finish it. So thank you. It was a good time. It was a fun time. I really appreciate you guys talking about TV shows and movies and TV in general with me. This is a really fun little chat stream. I'm glad we had fun, you know? I don't know if I'll do more of these just like chatting streams in the future, or if like we'll, continue to have quirky little conversations while playing Freezeria, which I may or may not be doing this weekend. We'll see, but I think I'm gonna call it quits for this live stream. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I've been having a big old blast, and I think I'll see y'all next time. I'm gonna get heading out. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm feeling quite hungry. It's around lunchtime for me, so. And I didn't do a sandwich time break. That's because I'm not streaming for as long. I'm only streaming for like half the amount of time that I normally am. So, anyways, yeah. Thank you to everybody who has joined, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.